Hi everybody, welcome to Jimmy's first gen mini rescue. I'm Jimmy and this is Aria, my granddaughter. Say hi. You know you want to say hi. Say hi. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, never mind. Anyway, I'm gonna read today's fortune and then tell you about the video. Today's fortune is: to see an old friend is as agreeable as a good meal. So, you know, yeah, when you have a good meal, you feel nice, it feels great for that meal. And when you see your old friend, same thing. Anyway, today's video, I'm gonna go ahead and start changing the tie rod ends on this car. It couldn't get aligned correctly. 3 out of the 4 wheels could be aligned, but the other one was stuck. So I just went ahead and ordered both tie rod ends for the front, inner and outer. And so I'm gonna take them off, the old ones. I'm trying to get them off whole so that I can measure them up, get it as close as possible when I put the new ones on, and then I'll schedule next week for a alignment. We got them until the weekend, so once we take them back home to their parents, we'll you know, I'll go ahead and schedule to get this one aligned. Now, ironically, this car is the 2003 Mini Cooper S, and I'm actually saving it for this one. So yeah, so she's only 8, so I got a long time to maintain this car until she gets it and it becomes her parents' problem. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna loosen up the lug nuts before I jack it up. I'm gonna jack it up. I've got jack stands to put under it. After I jack it up. Then I'll take the tires off and we'll look inside and see how it is to get these tie rod ends off. And I'm going to show you, I bought 2 actual tie rod tools. I know which one I want to use, but we'll see. Anyway, let me loosen up the lug nuts and get it jacked up. Okay. Here's a tip, especially when you're working alone. As you can see, I have a jack stand, a 2-ton jack stand on each side. So 4 tons, the car doesn't weigh 4 tons. I'm safe there. But I also put my tire that I take off the front, or if I'm working on the back, same one, put the tire underneath the car. That does a couple of things. If the jack fails or the jack stand fails, it's gonna fall on the tire. If I got my legs under there, they're not gonna get crushed. Tire and rim might get damaged, but that could be replaced, so that's no big deal. And then if it does fall, it doesn't go all the way to the ground. You got more room to put a jack underneath and jack it back up. So, especially when you're out here working by yourself. So, think safety, be safe if you do this kind of stuff. Take safety precautions. All right, so let me show you what I got to do. Okay, let me show you what I got to do. First off, this is a 15 mil nut on here. So you have to loosen this up and break this part of the ball joint off, or break it down. It doesn't matter if you, since I'm replacing both the outer and the inner, it doesn't matter if I destroy the boot or whatever. So you could use a pickle fork, a ball joint separator, or sometimes if you just take a big hammer and hit it right here, it'll knock it down. That's usually what I do first and see if it'll go down. It should. And I think this is the one they tried to heat up to get loose. And I'm going to show you all of this on the new one. But they couldn't break this loose, so they couldn't unscrew this. And then you take the off the boot, you take the ties off the boot, the clamps, pull the boot back, and then the inner ball joint has a nut on it. I think it's either 32 or 36 mil, but there's 2 special tools that I have to try to get that off. If you can get this part separated and you want to change both the inner and the outer, then I have a tool that slides on here and you can undo it. But if you can't, you can either cut this here, but I don't want to cut it because I want to measure. But let me show you up top. the new ones. Okay, here's what I'm working with. Now you might hear my neighbor in the background blowing leaves and cleaning up. Don't worry about that. That's just the way I work. But I'm replacing the inner and outer tie rod. This is the outer section. This goes up to that knuckle. This is the inner section. They separate here. You screw this on, then you put this one, screw it on, and there you go. It's all good. Comes with a new nut. It's a nylock nut that goes on here. So protect that. The kit that I ordered came with new boots. These boots are stationary. They don't spin. They're just stationary. And it came with 2 new clamps. It came with a squeeze type clamp for the small end, and it came with a European style clamp. Make sure you're seeing it. A European style clamp for the big end. If you don't have the tool for the European clamp, you can throw it away and use a zip tie, or you can use a regular screw type clamp. It just long as you get it on and it holds tight, you're good to go. I have a special European clamp tool. Don't know if I'll be able to use it because of the limited space down in there. Now for the tools, here's the first one is this universal. You take the nuts off the back, you place it on like this, and then you tighten it up. You tighten it up, and then you throw your 3/4 drive in there and you break it loose. That's a universal tool. It's good if you can't get this separated because it'll go over. So that's a good universal tool. But if you can separate it, you can use this tool, which you separate it and then it slides over, and you would pick out the right size wrench to put in here. Put it in the end. You pick out the right size that you need. So that's how that would operate. And for this car, that's too big. 33. It would be a 33.6 millimeters. That's the proper size for this one. But all you want to do is unscrew this, and then you can unscrew the whole thing out of the steering. Yeah. So that's one side. I'm gonna get started. Okay, I broke the clamp on the inside. No big deal, because like I said, I have a new one, but all I did was really stretch it out and popped it off. Slid the boot back, and now here's my inner ball joint. Very loose, very wimpy. I don't feel any back and forth play. However, yeah, it's time. So I will put the universal tool on here, and I am going to use, I'm going to use this tool, because I can actually I can cut this boot off if I needed to, but I can just take it off. I'll show you. Just take it off like that, stick it under, and then put the nuts back. But you won't be able to see because I'm going to be in your way. So I'll show you when it's done. Okay, I'm holding the boot back so you can see how the tool fits over there. And it has the drive here, and you just stick your extension in with a big breaker bar, and you turn it counterclockwise, and that should loosen up. It's just, you just got to crack it loose, and then it should spin off, no issues. But we'll try it. Let me get you to the side and look. Okay. I'm gonna double up. There we go. All right, it's loose. So now I'm going to take the tool off and spin it off. I'll be right back. Okay, I cracked it loose. So now I'm just going to pull this boot back, get the tool off of here, and just spin it. There we go. And just unspin it, and off it comes. And that's it. It's off. Okay, here's the old one. Here's the new one. What I'm gonna do is measure from here to here and just get it close. You can see now it's short, so I'll have to lengthen this one just to get it close. You don't want to just measure here because you can see the shank on here is longer than the shank on here. So you want these to measure up even, thereabouts. So I start with the back of the nuts and maybe one more turn. Now, the thing is, I have to remove these two. I have to separate these and take the nut off so that I can get the new boot on, because the new boot has to slide over this. So what I will do is I will use a paint pen to mark it, or I'll count the number of threads once it's removed. And then again, at the same time, I'm going directly to get the alignment. This car won't be driven until it gets the alignment, the appointment for the alignment. So having said that, I'm just going to get it as close as possible and take it straight to the alignment shop. As of right now, it's just short. Okay, that's about close enough. You can take a tape measure and measure from the center to the end here. And I may do that just to double check. But again, for me, it's not so critical because, like I said, straight to the alignment shop. Anyway, let me disassemble this and count everything up. Okay, I've got it measured out. What I'm going to do is screw it in place. And then I'm going to count the number of turns it takes to take the to take the outer tie rod off. And then that's how many turns I'll put it back on. Okay, so now I'm going to count the number of turns. So it's 17. to get it off. Okay, now what you just saw is how the other tool would work if you're able to separate the tie rod end. Okay, let's put the boot and reassemble. Okay, this side took 19 turns to get it off. I've got my new one separated, and we'll get it back on. These you don't have to worry about counting on the inner tie rod. These you're going to tighten up as tight as it'll go. Okay, now this tool is when you would use this one. Put it on. It has a okay, there we go, it's on. Good to go there. Put this back here. Okay, so now we do the boot, and it's easier to put the boot on. Right now I have the wheel turned as if I'm making a right turn and I'm working on the left side. It's easier to get the boot and put it on, turn the wheel back to the right, or like I'm making a right turn instead of a left turn. That just draws the boot closer. So I'm gonna go turn the wheel. And that makes a flush cut, actually, this tool. It makes a flush cut so you don't cut yourself and the next person behind you doesn't cut themselves on the end of the zip tie. Okay, I believe the torque specs on here is 41. I torqued it down to 42, old school clicker. I'm not too concerned about that because, like I said, she's going straight to the dealership to get the alignment done. So I'm just going to tighten up my jam nut. But they're gonna have to redo all of this anyway when they do the alignment. So they're gonna torque it down to torque specs anyway. But this is enough to get me, enough to get me to the shop. All right, the only thing left is to put the wheels on and take it off the jack stands. You guys don't need to see that, so I'll get to that right now. Oh. Okay, I put everything together and I went for a test drive, and steering wheel is about this way and I'm going straight. So it definitely needs an alignment. My numbers are off. I should have, well, whatever. They'll fix it. But okay, well, I finished the tie rods. Both of them on the front, inner and outer. So they're both done. So I'll go get the alignment. The steering wheel was facing left when I was going straight. I always went around the block. So what I'll do is call and make the appointment sometime next week and go take the car in and have the alignment done. They got no excuses this time. Anyway, so it's back in the lineup, but not quite. And that's it. So if I forgot anything on the video, ask your questions, do whatever, and I'll see if I can get back to you. But it's not a hard job if you have the right tools, and take your time. That's it. Anyway, and for me, I was replacing them, which they needed it. So, but if you drop your subframe and you think you need them, change them while they're off. I'm gonna do that to the orange when I drop the subframe. It'll be much easier. You can put the Euro clips on a lot easier. Access to everything, the works. So I'll order 2 more sets so that they're here. Matter of fact, I'll go in the house and order those right now, so that I'll have them when it's time for me to drop the subframe on the orange. All right, that's it for now. See y'all on the next one, and have fun with your minis.